on, make sure they're all
All
on.
right, everybody check.
Yep, okay.
Yep, I think.
All right, I call to order the zoning board of adjustment, the hearing of December 17th, 2024 at 7:31 PM. Call to order and statement of compliance. Adequate notice of this meeting/hearing has been provided by posting a copy of the public meeting/hearing dates on the municipal bulletin board and website, by sending a copy to the Echo Sentinel and Courier News newspapers, and by filing a copy with the municipal clerk. Standard board procedures. Any hearing conducted by the board is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision, and decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Meeting cutoff. Announcement is made that as a matter of procedure, it is the intention of the zoning board of adjustment not to continue any matter past 10:30 PM at any regular or special meeting of the board unless a motion is passed by the members then present to extend the meeting/hearing to a later specified cutoff time. Electronic devices. All in attendance are asked to mute their cell phones or any other electronic devices as to not interrupt the proceedings. Pledge of Allegiance. Tom, would you lead us, please?
Gladly.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. No Jerry yet. Okay. Go ahead. Do a slow roll call.
Okay. Mr. Aronio.
Here.
Ms. Brennan is excused this evening. Mr. Giannakis is not, oh,
Should be coming.
should be coming. All right, is currently absent. Mr. Flatley is excused this evening. Mr. Rosenberg is excused this evening. Mr. Watts?
Here.
Ms. Collins?
Here.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf?
Here.
Chairman Grecht?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Now, our first application is the bulk variance carried from November 26, 2024, Block 13509, Lot 40, Zone R4.
You see it up there at the table.
The application address is 40 Mitchell Road, application number 24-19Z. Jessica and Harold Alon. Applicant proposes to construct an addition to an existing single-family dwelling. I see the applicant is seated. Thank you. Would you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Jessica Alon.
Thank you.
Ms. Alon, hold on one second.
Go ahead.
All right, a couple things. First, I just want to point out for the record, this application, as you stated, Mr. Chairman, was carried from November 26, 2024. At that point, while the content of the notice was deemed sufficient, the issue was the applicant, there was some issue with the newspaper. The applicant needed to republish the notice. Happy to report that she did that within the requisite timeframe, so the board's jurisdiction to hear and decide the case, in my legal opinion. With that, I will swear in Ms. Alon, because this is a
And
hearing,
swear
you
in
have to
ours.
swear you in its testimony, as well as our board professionals. If all three of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, great.
Do you have any other witnesses besides yourself?
No.
Okay. Just, well, I wanted to know just for the sake of swearing them in.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
All right, proceed.
Okay, so currently we have a bedroom that has very low dormer ceilings. It's over our living room and kitchen. The headroom is very low. The walls are only about 4 feet high, so we can barely fit furniture or mirrors on the wall, and we have 2 girls in that bedroom. So we are looking to raise the back portion of the roof up so that it would be more of a raised dormer roof. I just had handed a drawing, I don't know if it got passed around, but the red line is the previous, the red line is what is existing, and I believe it's a black line just shows what the change would be, so you.
One second. I just got a text from Gary saying on his way, so he is coming.
Okay.
So speak slow.
Yeah, speak slowly.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I believe.
Yeah, wait till we get all the
Okay.
things.
Yeah, we will
documented.
mark this as Exhibit A.
I was just gonna.
Yeah. You look
for Gary?
Still.
Yeah,
So,
Thanks, Joe.
just to zoom in of
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
the section.
Thank you. This is very helpful. Thank you.
So we'll mark this as Exhibit A1.
Okay.
Ms. Salon, this is a wall section diagram, is that?
Yes.
Okay. And is that, we'll just give that today's date. I don't see a date on there.
Yeah.
So the red line is the current existing ceiling and wall, and then we're just looking to bump that out to where the black and the blue is to make it an expanded dormer. So in essence, all we're doing is putting a finished floor over a crawl space and then adding 1.5 feet out. By doing so, we'll be able to make it into 2 smaller bedrooms. The height of the new wall is 7'6", so it's still a little bit of a lower wall. The current bedroom is 19 by 11. With the expansion, one room will be 10 feet 2 inches by 9'6", and the other room will be 15.4 by 8'6". We currently have 30% existing lot coverage, which was present prior to us moving in. The allowable is 25. Once we expand the dormer, we will still have 31. And so this project actually has no bearing or change on the lot coverage. However, we are here for a lot coverage variance.
Right, because it's pre-existing.
Right.
Is there anything that's going to change as far as the ground level?
No.
Okay. So the photographs that you gave us here, the only thing changing is the roof line?
Yes.
And the porch, the patio, everything is existing?
Existing, yep.
Okay.
Question.
Go ahead.
So just so I understand it, the existing lot coverage was done without a variance?
I believe so. It was
Okay.
prior to us moving in. Yes.
Okay. Were you able to check on that? Is that the case? Do we have,
Well, there's no permits for the
there's no
prior work.
permits? Okay, thank you.
Do you have a year or date those improvements may have been made? Do you have any information on those? Okay. I mean, the prior owner didn't leave you any documents? or-
No.
Okay.
Are we talking, so what I think is that little shed, porch-like in the rear,
Yeah, that's the sunroom.
the sunroom?
Yep.
Is that what put you over the lot coverage limits,
I would think it's the patio.
the patio? Okay,
I think.
Yeah, that patio's quite extensive, but yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I think that sunroom has been there for longer than the patio, is my guess.
But everything, all the sunroom and the patio were done without permits?
We don't know. At
Well,
this
we would have a permit if they
Yeah.
were built with permits.
Well, there would be records in there.
Right, oh, there aren't any, okay.
They're
so
not,
assuming-
right?
Assuming
They're
the
not gonna be
sunroom was not built with the house, which it probably
It's
wasn't.
not, it
No.
was not, I know.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a somewhat older dwelling.
Mm-hmm.
On the
Do you know when the
outside,
house was built?
1950s or 60s.
Okay.
I know you're familiar with the neighborhood.
Yeah, before the 70s, I know.
Yeah.
Before I was old enough to know what was what.
Yeah, it looks like a,
And that sunroom and the patio were not there.
Yes.
In the
Yeah.
70s
Yeah.
and 80s.
how long have you been in the house?
7 years.
So it predates you.
Yeah. All right, let me see. Any other questions from the board members?
Are you looking to do anything to the sunroom at all?
No.
Okay.
Liz,
Yeah.
comments?
This is really a technical variance.
Yes.
She and her husband are looking to sort of enhance the existing structure and make it more livable for their conditions. And I think it's one bedroom now, and you're making it into 2 separate bedrooms with more
Decent ceilings.
more reasonable ceiling heights than what they had. It's really a technical variance that they happened to purchase a house that was already over in maximum impervious coverage.
Sure. And we've seen that happen many
And
times.
we've seen it happen, so.
Even on new construction.
It's, I think in terms of the variance proofs for the C variance, I think it's something that you would say is perhaps a hardship because they
right.
purchased a property where this was existing and they're not making it worse.
No.
So, and to the extent that it's been existing for perhaps since the 70s, you could say it's not going to have a significant adverse impact on the zone plan or the neighborhood.
neighborhood, right.
Yeah.
There's no, you don't know of any neighbor that's complaining about water runoff or anything like that?
If anyone
No.
should be complaining,
No, we
Yeah.
are complaining about water runoff.
No, I meant any neighbors around you. or anything.
recipient of the water, I think.
Yeah, recipient.
Not from her property.
We're only asking because that's one of the issues the reason why we have lot coverage restrictions is because of impervious and pervious.
We're at the
coverage.
bottom of a hill
Bottom of the hill.
of new construction.
So you catch everyone else's
Yes.
water. Okay. Do you have any
Yeah,
issues?
real quick, before I ask a couple questions, Ms. Alonso, board member Giannakis just got here. Do you have any objection to him sitting and hearing on the rest of the application. We're not going to let him vote because he wasn't here for the beginning part of the testimony, but you're okay with him sitting here and asking questions. All right, just want to be clear. Question more so for Joe. I hate to put him on the spot because I know he didn't do a formal review memo, but anything with stormwater we need to be concerned with? I know you.
No. And I think as we've been discussing already, the duration of time that it's been a stable condition prior to their ownership and arguably at least another decade or so longer, that dates back towards a transition to prior than the current regulations.
Okay.
So we have a stable condition that we're not really concerned with in topology in the area, draining through their property more than into adjacent properties.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, that's all really I had. I didn't really note any conditions suggested by Liz, or I can think of anything that might be applicable here.
No.
Joe's got nothing, so fairly straightforward application.
Any other questions? Okay. Do you, okay. Meredith, would you like to start the deliberation?
Mr. Chairman.
No.
Before that,
Yeah, go ahead.
comment.
Public.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. It's, any member of the public out there that would like to question, make a comment about this application? Yes, come forward.
Before he gets up, I would also like to speak. Come on up. Just for the record, that I am a neighbor of Ms. Alon's, a couple of blocks away, so I'm very aware of the
Oh,
property.
okay,
You're not
but you're
within-
not too close.
No, I'm not within the
Okay.
200
We're within
feet.
the
No, no,
200.
no.
Let's go.
But I just wanted to be part of the record.
Okay, understood.
We need
Thank
a
you, Mr.
mic for
Scott.
him.
Oh,
No, we need, no,
gotta pick it up.
it's not a question of us hearing you, it's I have to be on a record. So stay where you are, she'll get the mic.
yeah, here you go, Paul.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can hear you fine, but the record has to.
Check, check. Good.
Yeah, you're working, all right.
And sir, you can ask questions, make comments, both?
I was,
Swear him in.
Okay, I'll swear you just
Yeah,
to be safe.
You're gonna do both.
Okay, if you raise your right hand for me, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
yes, I do.
Okay, could you give us your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, Paul White, 25 Darty Avenue, Gillette, New Jersey.
Okay. And where are you in relation to this house?
I was just about to say, I'm not actually on her block. From if I walk out the front of my house, I can see her house.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's a house across from me, another house to the right, and then she's basically I can see kind of like right
Okay.
So you're not within 200 feet?
No, he
Yes,
is.
I
He
did
is.
get
You got a
notified.
notice?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did get notified.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right.
Anyhow, I am in favor of her getting passed. The whole neighborhood, most of the lots in this neighborhood, I've lived here 30 years, by the way. Most of the lots, I've went through variance, and I'm going to be going through
Keep
another
the
one.
mic in front of your face.
And I'm going to be going through another one probably. So it is a hardship. The lot coverage in this neighborhood, it's actually used to be Homestead Park. I think people still call it somewhat that. Most of the lots, they need 20,000 square foot coverage, and a handful of them maybe fit that. I have one of the bigger lots in the neighborhood. I'm 120 across by 150, and I'm only 18,000 square feet. So anytime I need anything done, I have to come here and spend a ton of money and go through it. It's kind of not fair because it's the older homes, and you have a lot of newer people moving in. I've seen the older people, I guess, kind of moving on is a nice way to say it. And you have people coming in wanting to fix up the houses,
Right.
and they won't because they got to go through this.
Yeah.
I actually went to a board meeting. Dennis Sandow was on the
Planning board.
planning board?
Planning board.
Yeah, planning board. And when he was doing the master plan, I asked him, I go, listen, you have houses falling apart in that neighborhood. And some of the older people do want to fix up, and they don't want to go through this.
Paul, if I can,
Yes.
that's the exact place to discuss that with.
Yeah,
planning
with the
board.
Yeah.
planning board, yeah.
I was
Those
just,
are the-
I'll
those
make
are the
it
guys
quick,
that
I'm
make the
sorry.
rules about it.
Or the
Yeah.
governing body?
I understand everybody knows. I just wanted to say how it's kind of like hard for people to fix their house up and keep them nice in this area due to this problem.
Right.
So I was hoping you could, for the Alon family, you could pass this and give them what they need.
Thank you.
That'd be
Thank you.
great.
Thank you for the positive.
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Have a good night.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Paul, you can leave it there.
Yeah, you can leave it there. yeah.
Thank you.
And put it in the holder.
Any other members of the public?
You can put it in the
Questions,
holder. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other members of the public want to ask questions, make comments? Okay, hearing none, I'll close it to the public. Okay. Any other questions from the board? Any other comments from our expert? Okay.
You want me to summarize, Mr. Chairman? or
Yes,
you want to- okay.
summarize.
Okay. One variance being sought here, simple bulk variance for an existing lot coverage ratio of 31%, where 25% is the max permitted. No conditions unless somebody has something they want to suggest, but nothing really came up during the hearing, so, it's just a simple majority to vote, and that's it.
I'll
It's not
move
much more
that.
to
If we're not
say.
going to deliberate, I'm fine moving that.
Oh, fine, okay.
Okay.
Does anybody have any problems with not deliberating? Okay, go ahead, Jimmy.
I'll make the motion to approve the
Okay.
variance as.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call?
Okay. Mr. Aronio?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf?
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Giannakis is not
Right.
going to vote. Okay. Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Chairman Grant?
Yes.
Motion carries.
That was quick.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Happy holidays.
Good luck. Yes,
You
you
as
too.
well.
You too. Yes,
And good luck.
yes, good luck
We're all
with it.
counting on you.
See?
Okay, cool.
Just talking about it being speedy.
See? Already making changes there.
I never had us go without a deliberation.
Yes.
Maybe one.
Because I, yeah, it's only one, because I
How
knew
did
it.
you get around it?
No, you're good. You're good.
Who's here and who's not?
Yeah, you don't have to. There's no mandate that you have to look.
Oh, okay.
It's just, there's no mandate. There's no, boards all do it differently. I only deliberate. It's a benefit to an attorney to know what thought pattern.
Yeah, I think it's helped me make my decision sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
For or against.
Next one,
He can pull the vote.
come on up.
Mr. Chairman, I'll just point out while everybody's approaching,
Yeah.
I had an opportunity
Fred,
to review the applicant's
There's an
notice.
extra chair if you want to bring it
Yeah,
for her.
there's extra chairs.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Long and short, the notice is good, was sent on time, the content was good, the board has jurisdiction to hear and decide the case in my legal opinion. So I'll leave it at that. Still waiting for council to get ready. I don't want to swear anybody in preemptively.
All right, let me just announce it.
Yeah, if you want to announce it.
We're doing
Oh,
a
yeah.
use variance, block 11513, lots 3, 4, and 4.01, zone R4, 287 Marsh Street and 329 Main Avenue. Application number 24-18Z. Mi Suk Yon, did I say that right? I apologize if I didn't. John, I'm sorry, it's a hard J. Applicant proposes to convert 2 existing commercial units into residential units. And I see the applicant is here, and he's represented
We
by
are.
by an attorney, I see.
We are and he is. She is.
Would you swear in our experts and the witness, please?
Sure.
And
And
swear
our
in
expert
their-
also,
Okay, Mr. Hollis, I figured as much. Okay. Mr. Joan? Oh, is that right? Okay, good. Yeah, all right. You raise your right hand. All right. Do all of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, great. All right. We're good. Mr. Zelli, back to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, board professionals, Frederick Zelli, Post Pollock, on behalf of the applicant. As indicated, this is the application of Mi Suk Jeon for 287 Morris Street, AKA 329 Maid Avenue. It's block 11513, lots 3, 4, and 4.01 for the time being. We're in the process of merging those 3 lots pursuant to approval back in 2021. Inadvertently, that deed was never recorded, so we're in the process of fixing that. This is located in your R4 residential zone. The applicant's the owner of property that I've indicated. It's located at the southeast corner of Main Avenue and Morris Street. The combined parcel hosts 2 buildings, specifically the applicant's home, which is a single-family resident located on the current lot 4.01, and a mixed-use building currently located on lot 4. Lot 3 is essentially a vacant lot, which is a lawn area servicing the other structures. This application concerns the mixed-use building. For close to 6 decades, the building has hosted both residential and commercial office and personal service uses, in part pursuant to use variances issued by this board 1965, 1980, and 2021. The property is currently located in the R4 residential zone, which only allows single-family residences. Property was previously in the B1 business zone, however, and the existing commercial uses are pre-existing, non-conforming uses dating back to that time. The building presently contains 3 professional office/business units on the first floor, 1 efficiency apartment on the first floor, 2 one-bedroom apartments, 1 on the first and 1 on the second floor. The 2 one-bedroom apartments were approved by a use variance granted by the board in 1965. The efficiency apartment was approved in 1980. In 1965, in granting that variance for the 2 one-bedroom apartments, the board noted, quote, "Changing commercial conditions have made further construction of retail, sales, and service-type establishments of doubtful value in this locale. As the board's well aware, such conditions have not changed since that observation almost 60 years ago. Rather, given the present-day prevalence of online retail sales and professionals working from home offices, that observation is even more accurate today. On the other hand, demand for reasonably priced apartments, distinguished from affordable housing in quotes, in the township and surrounding areas is higher than ever, particularly in locations such as the subject location, which are close to and within walking distance of public transportation, in this case, obviously, the Sterling train station. Applicant therefore wishes to convert 2 of the 3 commercial units into 2-bedroom apartments, so 2 2-bedroom apartments, with the third commercial unit, which is currently a beauty salon, to remain as a business unit. Just for the record, that's the unit closest to Main Avenue.
Yeah.
There is a typo on the architectural plans that I'll have Mr. Jean clarify when we do the testimony. As this board noted, when it approved the variance for the 2 existing 1-bedroom apartments in 1965, there are a number of 2-family apartments in the vicinity, and such permitted use would not be out of keeping with the neighborhood scheme already established. So that was 60 years ago, hasn't changed in that regard, so what we're doing is still consistent with the scheme of the neighborhood. By resolution dated October 5th, 2021, this board granted a D1 use variance to permit the 2 principal uses on one lot, because again, we're combining these into one lot, so you have a single-family structure and then the mixed-use building. A D4 use variance was also granted for, at the time, a combined floor area of 5,178 square feet, where 4,200 square feet is permitted in the zone. At that time, 2,876 square feet were residential. The board also granted minor site plan approval and a variety of bulk variances, none of which are at issue tonight. The applicant's proposal for this conversion of 2 existing commercial units into residential units requires presumably minor site plan again, and a modification of the floor area variance, as we are now going from residential of 2,876 to, let me get it right, 4,503. The combined floor area will remain the same at 5,178 that was approved back in 2021. It was our opinion, and Ms. Lahaney has confirmed it, that the D1 is not required for this conversion because the actual use of having mixed commercial and residential is already approved, actually all the way back in 65 and subsequently. So unless there's questions from me, Mr. Jean is my first witness, and Mr. Hollows will be my second.
Mr. Zelli, real quick, I take it you took these photographs?
Yeah.
I took those shortly before the filing application, and I will go through them with Mr. Jean.
All right, great, thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Did you say that lots are, there's a current application to consolidate the lots?
So when we applied in 2021, it was on the premise that we were going to consolidate them, which absolutely was the intention. And then in preparing this application, we looked in the record and realized it just hadn't gotten done. Without making excuses, it was a change of attorneys with our firm, and one didn't know what the other didn't do.
So it's still, is it still your intention to consolidate?
Yeah, we actually submitted the deed to
I
the
saw
county
that.
clerk back when we filed this.
Oh,
The state, in its infinite wisdom, once again changed its tax form, and it was bounced back, and they signed it.
Oh, so it was a technical.
It's just a technical issue, yeah.
I don't
So
know if
that'll,
it's- I don't know if it's relevant to the case, but I just want to ask about it.
sure.
I know, I've knowledge in the town, sometimes they just consolidate all lots that are jointly owned by the same, or sorry, adjacent lots that are owned by the same owner.
Right, under the doctrine of merger, under certain circumstances, they can do that,
happens.
right.
That hasn't happened with
Has
this.
not, no.
Does it matter if one's commercial, one's residential for those purposes, or even for the purposes of you consolidating yourself?
Merger is a very gray area.
I think
When it happens, how it happens varies greatly.
I'll leave it alone.
So,
Probably not relevant.
and that's honestly, that's why we made it very formal as part of our application before that we were going to do that. And of course, it didn't physically happen, but yeah, that's certainly the intention.
Right. In my experience, typically a merger becomes required when like 2 properties are the subject of the same application. You know,
Okay, that's,
so this is, you know, a perfect
okay,
perfect
that's what's happening right here.
example.
Sure.
Right, exactly.
But just to be clear, it was part of the approval in 2021.
Right.
The request to merge was approved by this board.
Right.
Yes,
So I think that should be made clear.
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
Speaks to the prior use, this variance.
I mean, the approval itself, since merger doesn't need to be approved by anybody, even a planning board it's not a minor subdivision, lot line adjustment, anything like that. So really, it was a premise probably was actually a condition. I'm not looking at the resolution right at the moment. I think it was
didn't-
probably a condition.
I didn't notice it as a condition, actually, but I was just going to ask, just to be clear, like, you've already represented that you would do it as a
It was,
condition
it
of
was
approval.
absolutely a premise of the application, whether it was articulated as a specific condition, I don't know. Honestly, it probably should have been. But again, there's no dispute that it should be done, and we're doing it.
Right, but I guess my point is, it's not that it has been ignored, and it's been
Right.
something that has been deliberated, and this board actually deliberated
Correct,
on it.
Right.
100%.
Right. So just to be clear, Mr. Zelli, just so there's no questions about it anymore. As a condition of any approval you get here, you guys will complete that lot.
Clear that
coverage,
up.
right?
That is fine.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
I have a question along that as well. Just to clarify, are we talking about the two lots where this building exists?
So there's actually 3 lots. The mixed-use building is on Lot 4. If you're going down Morris Street, the lot behind it's 4.01. That's where their single-family home is. And then in front of the back part, it's, where do I say it?
To the
But in front of the
south of the
back part of 4.01 is a lawn area. That's Lot 3. So all
Lot
3
three
lots
has
are
no
being
buildings
combined.
on it, it's
And
just
it's
square.
Basically, no, there's a little bit of encroachment from the other 2,
Right.
but no actual separate building, no.
That lot is on the third lot that you just talked about.
Lot 3.
Is that a main avenue address, or is that a,
It would have to be, because it's not, it doesn't touch Morris Street.
That's a lot to get into.
so, I've only heard about 2 lots being consolidated in the deed. Is the third lot?
No, all 3.
automatic?
Lots 4, 4.01, and 3
3.
are all being merged.
So they're all merged, and then the zoning will be,
Still R4,
All
but
4.
subject to the variances.
Yeah, all 3 of these
all
lots
3
are,
lots will be merged into one lot
correct.
that will now have a first floor residential.
It-
If it's passed.
They would have a residential,
Mixed-use, commercial, residential.
right, one mixed-use building and one purely residential building.
Purely
Right.
single-family, single,
Right,
Right.
both on the same lot. They have 2 principal uses on the same lot. That's what the 2021 approval was for.
right. That was the main relief from the 2021 application.
Right.
Right.
Now they're asking to go from commercial to residential.
Is Lot 3 going to be used by the people in Lot 4?
Well, it's all going to be one lot once we
Yeah,
get the
right,
file,
right.
so it's,
It's all gonna be used.
everybody can use it.
It's their backyard, basically.
I'm
Right.
So I
Yeah,
guess
it's a
my
rental
question
property, you may or
turns
may not
into,
give
if
access
it's all
to it.
one lot, new building could be put on that lot as long as it fits within the, rules.
Well,
Oh, no.
it wouldn't fit within the rules, because
No.
you already have 2 primary buildings with
Right.
one
I
variance
I
for
suppose an
that.
accessory building maybe, but.
Nothing can be done on this property going forward without coming to the board,
Right, right.
because it's.
Especially when it's one lot.
If they added
That's what I wanted.
if they added another principal building, it would be another use variance.
Right.
Because you were not permitted to have more than one. And in 2021, they got a use variance to have the 2.
Right, right.
Post-
Because they were
post-merger.
consolidating, right.
I'd like to go back to my point. I was talking about Lot 3, and I understand they're all being consolidated. Let's call it the back lawn then.
Sure.
Since this is going to be rental properties for those, in those 3, is that going to be accessible to the people staying
To the renters.
in the apartments?
Mr. Jean, you're already under oath, so would the lawn area be accessible to anybody who wished to use it? You don't divide that in any way, do you?
Speak up.
So you need to say yes or no, and, yeah. So why don't I ask it this way? How do you envision the lawn area being used? Who would have access to it?
access
The lawn.
lawn.
Right,
Yeah.
Lot 3, the grassed area.
Yeah.
Are your tenants allowed to use that if they
Yeah,
want to?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Like for parties, barbecues,
Yes,
picnics, okay. All right, why don't you have him, ask him questions then?
Mr. John, you and your, well, first, just for the record, your wife actually owns the lots technically,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Correct.
You both owned them at one time and then changed it for your own reasons?
Yes.
Okay. And you both presently reside in the single-family property on what's now Lot 401, is that right?
Once.
You both live there now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. And how long have you owned this property?
Since 2006.
Okay.
2006.
Right. And do you personally effectively manage the property? You're the
Yes.
property manager?
Yes.
Okay. And that's why we're having you testify as opposed to me sub tonight. Okay. We've already had a lot of discussion about what's physically on the property, so let me just go through it. Correct me if anything's wrong. You have your single-family house,
Yeah.
which is on what's currently Lot 4.01. And then we have the mixed-use building currently on Lot 4 facing Morris Street, right?
Yes.
Okay. And in that building, going from east to west, from away from Main Avenue toward Main Avenue, you have 2 stories, one-bedroom apartment on each of those stories,
Yes.
then an efficiency apartment on the first level.
First apartment, 1 bedroom.
One bedroom, one bedroom, then the
bedroom.
next one has no
Next one,
bedrooms.
no
it's-
bedroom.
Right, studio.
Studio.
Studio, okay.
Yes.
Studio apartment. Then there are 2 vacant
Yeah, the
commercial
vacancy
units.
commercial unit.
and then
One is a hair salon.
hair salon.
Hair salon. There's
Okay,
2
so-
vacancy.
2-story, 1 bedroom on each, efficiency/studio apartment, empty commercial.
Empty commercial.
Empty commercial, beauty salon.
Yes, beauty salon.
And the application tonight is to be able to convert the 2 empty commercial units
Yes.
into 2 two-bedroom
2 bedroom
apartments.
apartment.
Hair salon, or beauty salon will stay.
Yes, they.
Okay.
So just to be clear, there's 3 commercial units on this building?
There's 3 now, we're looking to make it just 1.
Okay, understood. And how many current apartments?
1, 2, 3.
3.
3 now,
Okay,
looking to make it 5.
Looking to make it 5.
understood, thank you.
And why do you want to do this? Why aren't we just renting out the commercial units to
Uh,
commercial users?
Commercial uses the no market these days.
How long have you been trying to rent those
I'm
out?
trying to 8 years, almost 8 years.
That long? They've been vacant this whole time?
No market vacancies.
And let me just ask you, we're going to go through some photographs, we're going to go over the plans in a moment. Let me just ask you a few more questions. Based upon your experience with this property and already having 3 rental apartments, do you think there will be any issue with the number of parking spaces that you have?
No.
Has there been any issue with parking or anything so far, as long as you've owned
That's
this
good.
property? The 18 spaces you have been?
Yes.
They've been sufficient? All right.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I see from the photographs, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cars sitting in front of what is now the mixed-use building. Where would the designated parking be for the tenants if that was residential?
Well, let me ask it a different way. Do you designate specific parking spaces to any specific users, or does everybody just share?
Yeah, everybody share this. 18.
Well, it's different when you're ready.
And does that include your single-family house? Are there any spaces that are specifically
Ye-
for you and your wife?
yes.
Or do you share as well?
Yeah, share.
Everybody shares?
Everybody share.
So what we're dealing with now are the employees and customers of the hair salon being parked there now.
Plus the 3 apartments, plus
Well,
their
but-
house? Correct.
Right now, plus the 3 apartments, well, the 2 apartments in their house.
3
The 3
apartments
apartments in their house.
Mhm.
So you'll be adding a residential parking for 2 units to this?
We are, but that actually, as Mr. Halls will testify, that actually reduces our parking requirement from 18 to 16.
No, I'm not saying the requirement, I'm just saying the overall use of the property will require, let's say 2 cars per apartment, so you'll have another 4 cars there, possibly.
In theory.
Okay, all right.
So I understand the back and forth question. So the requirement for residential is less than that is for commercial in the same square
That's
footage?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess they can anticipate more people coming to a commercial property.
Right. Well, yeah, you have employees, owners,
Right,
and then
right,
customers, so, right, yep. Okay, Mr. John, let's just go through the photos real quick. With each photo, just tell the board what the photo shows and just confirm that it still looks that way today. So first photo, what does that show?
Sure, sure,
What does this photograph show?
sure.
What are we looking at in the photograph? Just
Describe
tell
the
the board
photo.
what it is. Just describe the board what you're seeing. It's your building?
Yes, building.
Okay. All right, and this is from,
From-
let me
from
help you out a
to-
little bit. Is this from the Morris Street perspective?
This is Moore Street, the main avenue.
Okay.
Street.
And those are the parking spaces in
Parking
front.
space. Front of the behind my house, this area.
Your house is back
Yeah.
behind. And all the way to the left of photograph, that's the
Yeah,
two-story portion of the
two-story.
building?
The one, second, 2-story.
Okay.
See.
And the efficiency or studio unit, that would be the first unit
First
with the
unit.
porch?
this porch, this studio.
Yeah, that's the studio.
Studio.
Okay, all right.
And the subsequent two doors would be the ones that would be the apartments that you want.
Right, so if we look at these doors in this picture, left to right, after you get past the second, so all the ones behind the porch area, studio apartment,
Studio, but to the
one
rear.
commercial unit that's empty,
Yeah,
another commercial
empty.
unit that's empty, and then the hair salon.
Yes.
Okay. Next picture is taken from the eastern end. That's the two-story part, is that right?
Yeah.
There's a one-bedroom apartment
bedroom.
up and a one-bedroom apartment down,
Yes.
and then again, the same porched area.
Yeah.
All right. This is all the way east, and this is showing, that's the front door of your home,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And then some of the parking
The
spaces.
parking spaces.
And then we get to the other building.
Yeah.
To the right. Okay. Front door of your home?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's front door home.
This is just standing, looking towards Main Avenue, so looking west, and that's the end of the two-story portion?
Yeah, the portion.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Is that the door that the second story?
Yeah, second story.
Uses to enter their apartment?
Yeah.
Okay. And this will be standing on Main Avenue, looking at the other
yeah.
end?
Yes.
And that's
Main
the
Avenue.
beauty salon, this unit, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this would be the grassed area behind
grass
that we
behind.
talked about a moment ago?
Yeah.
Except for some encroachment maybe of the two other buildings, there's nothing built on that lot, right?
Mhm, yeah.
On the grassed area, is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Another picture of the grassed area, but with your house shown in the background?
Yes. Right. Okay.
Okay. Then, if you would, take a walk with me. We'll go over and put the floor plan up on the easel, and we can discuss that for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Come with me.
Want to bring the mic with you?
For the record, these are unchanged from what's been submitted to the board. Mr. Jones, stand next to me here. So we're now looking at sheet A100. It's dated November 27, 2023. Mr. Jean, does this show the floor plan as the building exists now?
Yeah.
Okay. And would you just describe to the board how the two units that we're talking about tonight are,
Yeah.
how are they configured now? What's there? What's in each unit?
Which now this is apartment, two-bedroom. This unit two.
Now,
Now.
what's there now? These are the two commercial units, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so how are they configured now? What rooms do they have now? Not what we're proposing, but what's there now?
What I mean?
These two.
These two.
So what's there now? It's set up as an office,
This
right?
exit, entrance door. This rear door.
Okay.
Okay.
And what kind of rooms are inside?
Inside there is bedroom and the kitchen. This.
Okay. Mr. Jean, right now, they're not apartments, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, before you do the work, we're trying to describe how the units are now. Okay? So let me read you what it shows and just tell me if it's wrong in any way. Let's do it that way. Okay. So on the left unit, which would be the eastern unit, you walk in, you're into an existing office space, is that right?
Office space. Office space, these two, office space.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so you have
make,
office spaces, there's a
yeah.
bathroom in each room, is that
And
right?
Each bathroom here, the bathroom.
And then further office areas in the back.
Yeah, back. This is here, back.
Okay. Let's flip over. To sheet A101, again unchanged from what was submitted. Now you can tell the board how you want to design it.
Yeah, this is my architect's design.
Okay.
So the two-bedroom, small two-bedroom, and this shower room, the toilet, this bathroom, and this is kitchen, this area kitchen. They make this flat.
So similar to one another, except
Yeah.
the one to the left's a little bigger and has a den in the front, is that?
That's for dance
correct?
front. Yes, correct.
Okay. Each of them has an open area, living room, dining room?
Yeah.
The plan indicates that the last unit is an existing two-bedroom apartment That's not correct, correct?
Yeah.
That's actually the hair salon?
Hair salon.
Okay, you have no intention, tonight anyway, of converting that? You want to keep that as the hair salon?
Yeah, keep the hair salon.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all right, go sit. And actually, that's all I have for Mr. Jean at this time.
Experts, any questions of the attorney or his client?
No.
I have a question for our expert. I don't see any ductwork or anything going between the hair salon and the apartments. There's no shared, there's no reason to think that anything from the hair salon that might be noxious would be getting into the apartments, right?
I think that's,
That level of the drawings will be addressed at UCC, at the Construction Code Office.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, it's, building
Yeah.
and construction
So
department.
the drawings that are in front of you don't contemplate those issues yet to assure compliance.
Okay.
Thank you.
But that would be something that would be.
Separately
yeah.
addressed.
I do have one question, but maybe it's better for Mr. Hollows, is to talk about some of the improvements to the facade that have been done, that were approved in 2021, and to the extent to which they've been done.
Okay.
Because that was part of the
Well, maybe you
application
can,
package.
maybe.
Yeah, I would say, ask
John
Mr. Jean first, and if he's not sure on something, we can ask
Yeah,
Mr.
right.
Hollis to address it.
Okay, so that is, have you made improvements to the facades since 2021, and what were they?
So, Ms. Lehaney's asking you essentially if the work that was to be done to the exterior of the building that was talked about in 2021, has that actually been done?
Yes.
And-
Yes, is that a yes?
Yes.
It was, right? Okay. So what we're looking at now, looking at the first page, gray vinyl siding, peaked roof gable end, new porch area, all of that, that had not been done yet in 2021, correct? That was part of the
That's correct.
application? Okay.
And the foundation, too.
And the foundation work also?
Yeah.
Okay. Has all the work that was presented to the board to be done been done now, as far as physical construction work? Has it all been done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I think that was a yes.
Yes, that's a yes. I do note, by reviewing, looking at this building personally, that it has improved the appearance. So I have noted that there has been things done to it.
Mr. Zali, no one's here from the salon presumably, but the salon knows about this obviously, correct?
They wouldn't necessarily be noticed separately. Have you had any discussions with the salon people about this proposal? No. Okay. But they know that it's been vacant, those units have been vacant this whole time.
There was time.
Has there ever, let me ask you this, has there ever been any issues between the salon people and any of your residential tenants? Any problems?
No problem.
Okay.
All right, because I was just gonna ask if the salon had requested anything done, like, parking signs or any sort of like reserved parking signs, things like that, but if they weren't made aware, I'm not saying they should have or not, but
Right.
I was just curious about the
Understood.
request, so, thank you.
I would think they would like the increased benefit of having some more customers there, right? Hopefully.
It's real convenient if you need a haircut.
That'd be great, huh?
Yeah.
It does go both ways, though. Sometimes
Yeah, they're taking parking spots.
Yeah.
businesses and residential don't get along too well.
I know,
Sometimes.
well, that's one of the reasons I was asking about the amount of
Yeah.
cars and the parking.
Actually, Mr. Zali, could you ask your client if he would have any objection to putting reserved parking signs up for the salon if they requested him to do so?
Would you have any problem doing that, reserving a certain number of parking spaces for
No problem. Then.
just the hair studio?
No.
You would not have a problem,
Not
you'd be
a
okay with that?
problem. Okay.
Okay.
Cool, thank you.
Noted.
Yeah, sometimes it's that I would make that, I would want to make that a condition only because if they want it, if the salon requests it, because that way we don't have somebody parking right in front of the salon who's a resident and the salon saying, well, my customer has to park.
Sure.
How many spots are for the salon?
There's no,
I would suggest that the condition be drafted to, although Mr. Hollis can testify to it, but can be drafted to comply with the ordinance in that regard.
Can
right.
I say something on that
Yes.
topic? It should go the other way too, I think. So if you're a resident and you come home from work early and there's 5 people waiting for haircuts.
You should
and you
have-
have no parking spot, maybe you should be at a spot too, so.
Yeah. No,
I don't love designated parking spot, because so often I go somewhere and it's the CPA, only CPA clients can park here, and there's 15 empty spots, and then,
Yeah.
there's nobody in their offices, because they're all working remotely, and I go and looking for one spot for the guy next door, and they're full. So I don't love it, but that's where we
Yeah.
are, so. mean,
No,
if you're gonna do one, I think you should do the other as well. There's plenty of parking, we already heard about that.
That might be an option too.
Mhm.
You know, we could say if the residents have some, I guess Mr. Hollows will.
I'll ask Mr. Hollows to address it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait for
Are there any members of the public that have questions for the applicant?
I have another question.
Well, no, I just want to, no, I'm seeing none, I'm going to close it to the public. Go ahead.
I just have a question, are any of these units designated for affordable housing use?
No.
Can we have one for affordable housing use, even if it's the studio?
That is, I mean, not to be difficult or trying to push back at all, we're not prepared to address that one way or the other. I have no idea what the town's requirements
Yeah,
are
that
in
would
that
have to-
regard or
yeah,
anything.
Because we're creating a need by approving a change really in the zone. We're creating an affordable housing need.
Creating a need necessarily. I mean, typically, the affordable housing stuff, I mean, the governing body will usually kind of plan that out, or that'll be much more planned, like pre-planned process.
For every so many residential units, we're required to have.
Not anymore.
No.
It changed.
I know that. but
Yeah.
In reality, did it?
Work to it.
I mean,
Well,
where
yeah.
are we going?
well,
Where are we going?
No, but they're
We
used.
always need more.
The hero.
100%. But there is no longer that direct correlation, right? That you
But
build
there's
this
now
and
there's
this.
some nebulous calculation that goes on, and you have this many homes, and you need this many. I think
Right,
it's no direct number, but now we still create them.
right. One thing to just note is, as of right now, Long Hill doesn't have what's called an inclusionary ordinance, or a mandatory inclusionary. So a lot of towns, if you build 5 units or something, you have to provide. one-
Yeah, this would fall under that anyway.
But it would be not maybe qualified, but just to note, Long Hill doesn't have that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is the global growth of
Right.
the town.
Right.
When that happens, we need more units. So
By
that's
the mere
what I'm
fact-
thinking about. And if there's no support for that here, I'm fine to just stop talking.
No,
about it.
well, Jerry, by the mere
I
fact
think
that
we should
these
be
are,
doing that.
Jerry,
Yeah.
by the mere fact that these are smaller apartments, they're not going to be rented for that much money, so.
Well,
As
how do
far
you
as,
know? Are you the owner?
no, I'm just saying,
Well,
they're
only the
smaller,
owner knows that,
they're
yes.
smaller units, so I wouldn't imagine they would be going for a house cost, you know.
In order to qualify for, I think what Jerry's saying, to get sort of credit from the
At
state,
least the studio.
they would have to be deed restricted, they would have to be
Right.
Which we don't have the
marketed
power to do.
to the county. It would be a whole process, which I think what you're asking is that we should be thinking about that, and I think what the applicant is,
It's just something we're not prepared to address. It's not part of the application at this time. There would be a whole process we'd have to go through to determine. I think you're right that nothing is required.
Right, so we don't have the authority to do that.
Right.
And
And again, from our perspective, and this, similar to what the chairman was saying, we view these as affordable housing units in the generic sense, meaning something that's not ridiculously expensive, not affordable housing in the technical sense, which is certainly an animal in New Jersey.
if I'm afforded the opportunity, in the addendum to this application, it says, on the other hand, demand for reasonably priced apartments distinguished from affordable housing in the township and surrounding areas is higher than ever, and so on. So I think that the applicant has already considered whether he wanted to do affordable housing, excuse me. And so we don't really need to keep
Yeah.
badgering
Yeah,
this.
I think,
He-
yeah, I
he
think we're getting a little
said
too
no.
far afield of,
All right,
If I may, just for a
Yeah.
moment. You currently have a one-bedroom apartment for rent there for $17.50, which is quite affordable for the area. I wanted to try to show it to somebody and wasn't able to, but I think that they are at a market rate that's not qualifying as I think you're worried about the credits, but they are.
I'm not worried about anything. All I'm saying is I've been in the planning and zoning and on this board for a long time, and I've seen lots of stuff. And I've seen lots of stuff built where we get no credits for affordable housing. And the law, well, there's actually no law, right? It's some other group that's not a legislative body that tells us what we need. And it's sort of whimsical as to at the liberty of the governor and the legislative body at the time, and it's no real rules that stay in effect for a long time. We'll just come back and say, you need 200 more units, because you built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more units. The next round, you're gonna need another one because of this. I'm saying every time that I've had the opportunity, I've tried to add an affordable unit that equates to something, so that we're not stuck here 20 years later saying, where did all our requirements come from? Like, why do we have all this? Well, we built housing all along the way and didn't satisfy any units, so that's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
All right.
So it's obviously not supported here, so move on.
There's a lot of change going on with the fifth round that recently came out. Well, fourth?
Yeah, we're in fourth.
We're in fourth with the numbers for
Entering
the fifth.
into
right?
fourth,
Yeah,
yeah.
Entering the fourth. Entering the fourth. And there are obligations of the township's planner, who's not your board planner, to provide guidance before January
I completely
31st
understand how it works.
and address certain milestones that are coming up. So the matter is best addressed by those milestones through the governing body first,
agree with
and
you
then
to
we
some
can be
extent.
reactive to it.
I do agree with you to some extent.
We're kind of too
There-
close to
there-
that
there-
happening
Opportunities
to,
in this board where we have not had a requirement to obtain affordable housing at the time the application was being approved, but yet we did. We all know that's happened.
Oh, yeah,
Some
they
of the
were,
same players have been
greater, that was a
I'm
greater
just saying.
project, right. No,
Just-
I agree with you, Jerry, I mean,
And no mention was of that in their application, and no mention was of that until the very end of the application, and a couple times that happened. Till the very end, and we said, you know what, we need affordable housing, and we do this. It's the only reason why I'm asking.
okay.
We should be doing, I think we should be doing.
So although the applicant isn't prepared, is there any resistance to considering it?
My only resistance to considering it is it would delay our ability to have an approval because we would need so many additional details and whatnot in order to incorporate that.
Yeah.
I think this is a small enough project where we really don't have the authority to mandate it, so.
I would have to.
I
I'm not even
think that
sure
has
if
to
we
be
do.
stopped now.
Right. Let's move on.
Do you have another witness?
Yes.
Okay, call him.
Mr. Hollows, you're up presumably for a brief testimony since this is primarily a use application, but
Mr. Hollows, your license still in effect? Yes, it is. Good, you're an expert.
It's a good standing too, right?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
he's always in good standing.
how many colorized drawings do you have, Bill?
I have one.
Okay.
I'm just going to give you an idea where the property is, although I'm sure you all know it. We are at the intersection of Morris Street and Main Avenue at the southeasterly corner.
Mr. Hollows, I'm sorry.
Use the
Microphone.
Yeah, the microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And real quick, this is the plan sheet dated August 5th, 2024, no revisions?
That's correct.
Great, thank you.
We're at the corner of Main Avenue and Morris Street on the southeasterly corner. This circle is the 200-foot radius, and every building that is shown there is a residential building. Houses, when you get down towards Mercer Street, and maybe a couple of two-family houses in that area. And I'll just go to the rendering, because that's probably the...
This is a colorized version of what sheet, Bill?
We're gonna mark that A1,
A2.
A2?
Yeah, then, wait, did you guys give me something already?
No.
Oh, no, I'm
No, the
sorry.
other
Yeah,
application
the
had
previous
A1.
You were
candidate.
thinking about the previous.
Yeah, my
one.
bad.
It's
Gee,
still
we're moving so
A1.
fast here, guys.
I know.
All right, so there's a colorized sheet two
Two.
of two. Okay, great.
Same date,
Yep, thank you very much.
colorized. I think this gives you a little better feeling of what's transpiring. This building that I'm showing here at the corner of Morris and Main Avenue is the multi-use building. The building to the rear of the property is a single-family dwelling. And then the green area is the lawn area that is between the property and going south towards Valley Road. I don't know that you can see the colors too well, but the lighter tan color is what's existing
As residential.
as residential right now. You've got the studio apartment, the two-story, one-bedroom apartments, and then you've got the single-family dwelling to the rear of the property. In the middle, it's a little bit darker color, and those are the existing commercial uses or commercial units that we want to convert to the residential units. And then the lighter color towards at the intersection is this beauty salon. So these two are the ones to be converted. These are already residential. And then the parking is along Morris Street, and it's a little deeper when you get further down. But this parking has been there forever.
How many spots are there exactly on the parking?
18.
And what is required currently and what would be required if this were approved?
I think it's 18 required now, and it would be 16 that we would need.
That's my recollection as well.
Yeah.
So would you propose to have the allocation required for the residential units and the allocation required for the commercial use marked, and then have the two just at large parking?
No, I mean, to me, logic would be that you would have these 4 parking stalls that are closest to the salon be the ones for the salon. And there is parking allowed on Main Avenue.
That's what
which
how many are required for the commercial use?
4.
4, that's what I was saying, so the 4 closest to there would be.
4 closest could be the one designated for the salon,
If you
and then
allocate
the rest
residential,
could.
You're gonna have 2 extra spots, right?
No, you just leave the other unallocated, right?
Yeah, leave the others unallocated, and then it's whoever gets there.
Okay.
And one of those is a handicap space.
Okay.
But Mr. Aronio is correct. If we're allocating 4 specifically for business, which is calculated into both the 16 and the 18, if we're down to 16, then 16, 18 minus 4, 14 spaces is 2 more than we need for residential, but that'll be that won't be divided by unit. That'll just be
Those
14
two would be
spaces for
any
residential.
guest or
Yeah,
any-
yeah, or if they're,
Overflow.
the salon's going a little slow.
Yeah.
Somebody could actually park out on Main Avenue, or they could, if the spaces are open. And I think that would probably be the time of the day. Because I've been here at this site several times, and during the day, there's not many cars there at all.
Okay.
That's good.
So, Mr. Hollows, in your professional opinion, would it make sense to, with signage, designate the first 4 parking spaces going from Main Avenue to the east for the salon, and then leave the others just for the residential without specifying which?
Yeah, I think that'd be the maximum I'd want to do. I wouldn't want to say apartment 1, apartment 2, or
Right,
anything
right.
like that.
Or just resident
Is that-
parking.
No,
No, I don't
What
even,
happens on Saturday
you know,
if
if
the
you-
salon is open and all the people are not working? Have we seen that? Or-
you know,
They're still providing more than what they would need.
I don't know that you would really want to do that. I think you have these, you've had those 4.
And then
You have,
street parking.
you have on-street parking here, and the next house is down a little ways. You know, driveway is right there. So, you could probably get 3 cars there
So there's
if
no
you needed to.
anticipated parking issues at all?
No, I don't anticipate, no.
Fine, I'm
Not visually, either being there, going by this property.
Mr. Hollows, you were also the engineer of record for the 2021 application, is that correct?
That's correct.
And are you generally familiar with the improvements to the property that were contemplated by that application?
Yes, I am.
And based upon your knowledge of the neighborhood, and just for the record, your office is just up the street, correct?
That's correct.
Have the improvements to your knowledge been done that were contemplated at that time?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the building does look a lot better than it did. You got bumper curbs here to tell you where the parking stalls are. Morris Street's been paved, and that took care of any paving problems that we had. There were some potholes where the seam was, but that's been taken care of.
Thank you. Nothing further for Mr. Hollows?
Our experts, do you have any questions for Mr. Hollows?
I have a question about the occupant, I guess Mr. June, sorry, of the detached single-family home. Where do you park?
Single family beside one.
Park close to your entrance there?
I think it's, hold on one second.
I'm just curious if those would be.
I kind of always intended when I did the plan that 1 and 2 would be for that house, and then there's a little walkway that we made.
So, I mean, does it make sense to reserve those for the people in the house? I don't know.
Mr. John, do you feel, well,
Space.
let's, for the record, so this is the third photograph in the packet. The area by the cones is where you and your wife park, is that
No,
right?
no wife, no driving, no.
Okay.
no parking.
So
Only
where you
just
park?
one.
All right. But you
Save
park
the
in this
space
area
of-
right in front of
yeah,
your entrance, is
yeah,
that right?
Right there.
Have you ever had a problem with not
No
being able to park?
problem. Just
I don't think
lot
we
of
have to
space.
restrict.
I mean, you're gonna have more people wanting to use parking spaces.
Something
I
for the
mean,
applicant to consider, right?
Yeah, if the applicant wants to, I don't want to make that a
Okay,
condition.
fine.
It looks like he's using the orange cones now
Yeah,
to,
right.
to block it. Anyway,
That's
I would.
too.
If you want to move the cone every day.
Yeah.
Any questions of our, of the expert from the board? Okay. Any witnesses, I'm sorry, any public that has questions of their expert? I don't see any public, so we're gonna close it. Okay. Any other testimony?
Nope.
From the,
No.
okay. Any other questions from board members of the applicant, their attorney, our experts, or any issue?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So I just want to be clear, with all of the stuff being combined into one lot, and this amount of parking spots approved for it, can the lot be redeveloped without coming to a board? And I think we answered this.
No.
Just wanted to clear
Cannot.
up.
Nope.
Okay, so the board, if
They
somebody
can't
wanted-
change
If somebody
anything.
wanted to put an apartment building there,
They can't put a generator on without coming to you guys.
Right, exactly.
Well,
I
that's,
don't know if I agree with that, but
Well, depending on,
I think we're entitled to accessory uses. but
you need a survey for a generator?
It's,
you do, and the impervious coverage, I think,
Yeah.
is.
well, if we have an impervious coverage issue, that'd be a different
Yes,
story.
if-
I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
what she's.
They would have to come.
She
for
wasn't
site
talking about
plan
the
approval.
issue of a
They'd
generator,
have to
just
get
the
site plan.
fact that it.
No,
To the extent that it would incur further coverage, yes, of course.
Right.
All right.
This is it's a residential zone, so if they
Right.
want to put in, either expand an existing,
You'd be subject
Non-residential
to
use.
the ordinances.
right, exactly, yeah.
It is, what we have now for the most part are variance permitted uses as opposed to pre-existing non-conforming. The pre-existing non-conformings would actually be the commercial use, and we're down to one now if this is approved. So anything else use-wise would be another D1, and we'd certainly be in front of this board.
You wanna
Just
sum up?
by way of planning argument, not testimony.
Right.
It's a D4 variance, FAR variance. It falls under Coventry Square, under Randolph Town Center. We have to show that the site can accommodate the problems associated that are, the FAR restrictions are designed to combat. In this case, we're dealing with no change in overall FAR. What we're changing is the amount of it that's allocated to residential. That does run afoul of your ordinance. But under Grubbs versus Slowhauer, the point of not only density but FAR restrictions is to serve to limit the intensity of the use of the land to be developed. As we've already discovered through the discussion of parking spaces, the intensity being proposed is actually lower than the commercial. So although we're increasing the FAR for residential, we're actually lowering the overall intensity. Of course, this board is to always look at the overall project. So with that in mind, it does not appear that we have any true issue that the FAR ordinance is designed to combat. And also it should be noted under the case law, you're looking to see if the proposed use would be out of place in the neighborhood or degrade the appearance of the neighborhood. We're not changing the use except to the extent allocating between residential, commercial. You already have multiple approvals of this lot for multiple residential. That's already in place. And as your planner agreed, it's not a change in that. The prior approvals, certainly the 2021, did not specify or limit the number of residential. It just approved the fact that we have two principal uses, one of which is a mixed use. So that mixed use on this lot, this combined lot, has already been approved. So with that in mind, I believe we've satisfied the FAR. Negative criterion is really no detriment that you're going to see. We've gone through every possibility, which, if anything, might be parking. But again, it seems like we are overparked at this point with the proposed new use. So there does not appear to be any negative criteria involved. Otherwise, we're just looking for minor site plan approval and that single variance. Thank you for your time. Appreciate a positive vote.
Mr. Zelli.
Want to sum up before we
Yeah,
deliberate?
I don't know if I could do any better than Mr. Zelli did, but I'll try. So the applicant here, like you said, is seeking minor site plan approval in one variance, that's the D4 FAR variance, to permit a proposed residential floor area ratio of, I calculated it at 22.515%. Is that right? Based on the size of the.
The FAR, I don't think I looked at that.
Sorry, whoops.
Is it-
The FAR in Long Hill is, in this instance, for a residential zone, it's just for residential uses, and it's calculated in square feet.
Oh, it is, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw your the square footage on your memo, and I was like, wait, then I did the math.
Yeah, it's not, for non-residential zones, it becomes the percentage.
Okay, so then they're proposing a floor area ratio of 4,503 square feet? That sounds right?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. So there's that, and then the maximum permitted here is 4,200 square feet. Right, and as far as conditions go, I think there was, Mr. Sully mentioned there was one typo in the architectural plans that was going to be cleaned up. Applicant is going to complete that lot merger that they already started to do pursuant to that prior approval. They're going to designate the 4 parking spaces closest to Main Avenue for use by the hair salon. They won't need to designate any other parking spots, right? That was the understanding?
There's no
Right,
mandate.
probably want to describe it as we can say the westernmost unit or something like that, the
Westernmost.
commercial unit.
Right,
Okay.
the commercial unit.
Just don't want the resolution to possibly seem to be indicating that it has to
That
be
it has to be a hair salon, right. yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. For commercial unit, okay.
Yeah.
But the 4 closest to Main Avenue? then,
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then, I think that's it, though I mean, it's probably already applicable, but, all conditions of the prior approval would still be in play
Right.
to the
Yes.
extent that they're still even applicable.
Agreed.
So that's about it. So I think we need 5 out of 6 to pass this. Okay, we got 6 votes.
Randy, you want to go first?
Well, I'm glad that my question about parking didn't open a can of worms or anything like that. It was mainly for Mr. June's own sake, 'cause I think if there's no designation, we'd be getting some calls from the salon hypothetically down the road, and it would be a big pain. So it's more for his peace of mind than anything else, that suggestion. But no, I mean, these spaces have been vacant for 2 or 8 years, I think the testimony was. It's a very long time. Our experts don't seem to have a problem with it. Mr. Zelli did a great presentation overall, so also appreciative that leading questions are permitted in this situation. This is quasi-judicial, but no, I vote in favor. So.
Thank you.
Gary?
I think that you have a property that's been vacant for a long time, and it'll be nice to be able to have it be used and be affordable. So overall, I'm in favor of the application.
Thank you.
Jerry?
Well, similar to my colleague, Mr. Watts, I'm glad that my comments about affordable housing didn't draw too much attention either, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, okay.
Well, point taken.
One, regarding the character of the neighborhood, it's, I think, have zero impact on that. 2, it's going to, provide much-needed housing to the area. We know there's definitely a need for, not affordable housing classified as affordable housing, but just for regular folks to live. We definitely need to add to our housing, so it's beneficial to that, I think. Not one resident is here to complain about the use change, so I don't think they've all been noticed. Those people are active politically, they know what that means, so I have no concerns with that. And I think that it does not, it has zero impact on our zoning plan or our zone. It's a residential neighborhood, it's zoned residential, so it fits in the use. I'm happy that you're going to be able to rent your space that's been vacant for so long.
Meredith? Thank you.
Well, I echo all of the sentiments of my fellow board members. I think the fact that you are, I guess basically at the end of the day, it's really less than a 10% overall increase in residential floor area, the ratio. It's from 4,200 to 4,503, which seems hardly burdensome. I think the fact that you actually live at that property, there's a vested interest for the best possible outcome to make good use of the space. I think too the fact that there's no real site work involved, no tree removal, no soil disturbed, no site drainage affected, no real critical areas. Doesn't really seem to be any negative criteria involved in this application, and I think it's really a general overall improvement And nice to see that that's going to be a good use of space to accommodate people that are, flocking to the area and moving to the area, especially for a space that was empty for so long and having been allotted for commercial, but nothing going in there. So I think I approve of this application.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you. I have the same sentiment, and just for the record, I'd like to note that no public walked in between, so we didn't have any comments from them. I also mimic the statements of my fellow board members. I think this is a good use of the property. This property has been used for everything from the police station to I don't know what else, but I think it's looked the best it's ever looked that I ever remember this property looking, and I think the residential will fit right into the neighborhood, and I think it will be a positive all-around influence on the neighborhood, so I would be in favor of it also.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Can I speak?
Oh, yeah, you can speak, sure.
I thought that'd be nice.
Yeah, okay.
I think we need a motion too.
Yeah,
already done.
yeah, you can make the motion, too.
I'll make a motion. I remember when we discussed this back during COVID in 2021, and we
I forgot I
thought,
skipped over you.
and we thought then that this was going to be a good improvement. And so far, it has been. It's a great thing. And I do like looking at your plans and seeing that the one tenant's going to have actual access to the green space that's behind, well, I don't want to call it the commercial building, but this mixed-use building. And that's great. That'll be great, hopefully safe place for people to go out and enjoy some green right by their own house, apartment. Everything else my colleagues has said, I don't need to reiterate here. I'm going to be in favor of this, and on that, I make a motion to approve with the stipulated,
Right,
what he
with the
said.
condition. With the second, do we have a second?
I'll second it. Oh, you got it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Vice Chairman Grosskopf.
Yes.
Mr. Watts.
Yes.
Mr. Aronio.
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis.
Yes.
Ms. Collins.
Yes.
Chairman Correct.
Yes,
Motion carries.
Thank you
congratulations.
so much. Have a wonderful holiday, everybody.
You as well. See you
Take
next
care.
year.
Merry Christmas. Before we adjourn, I understand that we do have to formally adopt our bylaws. We have actually formally adopted the final version.
Did we not?
No, I don't think we never formally voted on them.
Huh?
Can we go back? Do we have the minutes? Let's go pull that back.
I have to go back through the minutes.
I think we left it that we had some minor changes, and we wanted him to come back with a clean version, and we have not
keeps getting pushed.
seen that.
Right,
We haven't voted on it.
Let me go back through the minutes and I'll confirm it, and we'll
Yeah.
put them on the reorg and we'll get it done. if we
Yeah,
can
just
do it on the reorg.
so, and I did mention to our fine attorney here that I would like to get the final version emailed to everyone, so they have a version to look at before we come back for the next meeting.
Okay,
And then we'll finally adopt them.
Okay.
And, beginning of the year. Because I know darn well we did make a formal motion and
Gary
adopt it.
made a motion to,
Steve covered that meeting.
unmarked version?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's the final version,
the
not
clean,
unmarked.
clean,
Clean final
unmarked
version.
version.
Is it August?
The final version of what it's gonna look
trying
like,
to
because
check the
that's what we
minutes.
didn't have.
okay.
So I remember that, because we were looking for that.
Oh, when
And
did,
somehow, with all the other things we were doing, we were busy, we didn't get a chance to.
was it
put that in.
October?
Which version?
Yeah.
Which-
Steve covered that meeting?
That's
You
funny.
wrote them, but then he
Right.
covered the last one, I think.
Right,
Right,
that's
right.
why, yeah.
But we
You
never,
had those last.
I remember,
few
him-
changes.
so I remember him telling
Yeah.
me that you guys
You sent
adopted
me
it,
an
that's
email,
why, yeah.
too, because I had to go push it on the last.
Yeah.
one.
October and November are somewhat a blur, so I'd have to
Yeah.
go back
Right.
through the notes.
yeah, we need the one without the little things on the side, just a clean version.
The last one I have is marked final, and it was dated 9/25.
Right, exactly.
From Chris.
Yeah, right, and then we don't have the October minutes yet on the
Right,
website, so
right.
that's why I can't see if they were adopted.
Okay,
We'll
what do we
figure it
have
out one
coming
way or
up
another.
besides the reorg in January? Do we have an
We're not, we
application?
probably won't have any application because I left that open in case this hearing tonight. So,
Okay,
we will probably just do the reorg and catch up on minutes. We'll do the
and
bylaws.
the bylaws.
Correct.
Great,
Correct.
terrific, okay.
Not a bad idea to adopt them going into the new year anyways.
Yeah, oh, no, that's what I meant, but I want to know that we don't have any applications, so it won't be,
I don't believe
Can
that
I
this
ask-
time we do.
Can I ask- yeah, what the hell is that pink thing you guys sent me there?
It's my fan.
Oh, it's a fan.
It's a
Oh,
fan.
I have
It's a
the same-
Dyson.
I had the same thing in
One
my
of those
office in
Dyson
white. Okay,
fans.
all right. I thought it was
That could have been done off.
I was a
the
speaker.
record.
Have it so I can see better. It's just
Yeah.
this direction.
Okay.
all right, do I hear a motion? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye, we're adjourned.